If you came to groove, there's no reason to prove.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am Michael Buckheister and joined with, as always, Billy Hatton. Billy, how you doing today?
Doing all right. Great day to talk sports this Tuesday morning.
It is a nice and rainy Tuesday morning here, but how's the weather down there in Texas?
It's pretty chill this morning. A little gloomy morning, but rain? Nah, we probably don't get no rain.
I think here in Louisville we got like 5 inches in 2.5 days or something crazy like that. But nonetheless, Billy, as people know by now, hopefully, Thursday we will be doing the show at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the new YouTube channel as well. If you guys do not know what the YouTube channel is, it is in the description. I've also posted it in the comments on the live comment feed as well. Looks like we got about 15 to 20 people here joining us, and I definitely appreciate you guys joining us. If you are not joining us on YouTube Live, if you are on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, etc., it will be a new link for the podcast as well. Just search for RTF Sports Talk. Billy, tell people a little bit about your podcast, Unpopular Opinion.
Well, podcast called Unpopular Opinion. I normally do some of the most hottest sports news that we have out. I do it on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday live at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. At 12 noon on Spreaker. If you follow the Unpopular Opinion Facebook page and the Unpopular Opinion Twitter page, I normally post the show on there, what times I'm going live, where I'm going live at. Tuesdays and Thursdays are reserved strictly for guests, and I record that live on Anchor, and those times also go out.
And if you guys are not following him on Twitter, his Twitter handle is in the description below on both the podcast and the YouTube channel. But Billy, you want to get into it?
Oh, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So I would like to start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you guys did not watch that game last night, I think it was a fairly good game. Steelers jumped out early. Tampa Bay kind of came back, or the Steelers kind of gave it away. Nonetheless, Steelers came out on top. So, Billy, the question arises to you today, this morning, the first question of the day: does this begin the Steelers' path in the right direction? Are they going to start their winning ways again? Are they going to jump back up on top of that division, or is this just a fluke win?
I definitely think, I don't know per se if they're back. I'm not sure about that yet. I think they kind of took advantage last night of, the 3 interceptions by Fitzpatrick that I don't think was his fault, but I'm sure we'll probably get into that too. But they can definitely get back on the winning track. I mean, they have the Ravens next week at home in Pittsburgh. That's pretty tough, and you're at home to get a division rival. So yeah, they can definitely win next week. But to say that they're back on the road of winning, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure if I'm ready to crown that yet. They still didn't look all that great last night. The defense didn't look all that great. It seemed like it's going to be Big Ben making plays, because I thought if it wasn't for him last night making a couple of those plays on third down when they needed a key first down, that game probably would have went a different way.
So let me ask you about Big Ben real fast. I'm sure you saw that clip of a Big Ben kind of flopping when he got hit in the head. What are your opinions on that? I know this is totally off topic, but do you think that quarterback the protection rule was kind of getting out of hand and the flopping is is going to start to be like a trend?
I think it's definitely getting out of hand. I mean, but this is where I'm at with it on guys like Big Ben or like the Cam Newton. I kind of look at them as like a LeBron James or a Shaq. You know, referees have openly came out and said the reason why these guys don't get fouls because they're so much bigger than everybody else. So what did LeBron start doing? He started flopping. That's the only way I'm going to get that call. Big Ben and Cam Newton is in that upper echelon of quarterbacks where they're so big and they're so strong. A lot of times they don't get a lot of the roughing the passer penalties that they should get because they're 260 pounds. You know, and he has to flop. Now that one was a little.
It was ridiculous.
He went a little overboard because the guy only hit him with like 3 fingers. It was only like 3 fingers, and he felt like
he got the call.
He got shot or something. He got the call. You know, mission accomplished for Big Ben. But on cases like what I saw last night, that was a little weak. But I understand quarterbacks like a Big Ben and Cam Newton who sometimes get hit and stuff is not called.
Well, and I believe the pass that he threw was an incomplete pass, and it was a 3rd down. So that may have been like the kind of like the turning point in the game as well. Like the Steelers are going to maybe pull this out a little bit as well. I mean, my vague memories kind of off and on today because I'm super tired today. But that's a story for a different day. So the question that I want to ask you, Billy, is you do not think the Steelers are back on to their winning ways. How do they get back on that path? Do they just need Le'Veon Bell to come back? Is that the only way?
I'm just going to be – I think it's pretty simple. I just think it's Le'Veon Bell. I mean, it's going to come a time where Big Ben is not going to be able to give you 35, 40 points a game, you know, like he's been having to do these past couple games. He's not going to be able to do that every single week. Some weeks you just don't have it. And if that defense don't get fixed, listen – it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Big Ben do coming down the stretch. You know, they play the Ravens, who's 2-1, who's proven to be a pretty good football team, better than what a lot of us would have projected them to be right now at week 3 of the season. Then next week they play the Falcons. You know, and Matt Ryan has been lighting it up. He had another 5 touchdowns on Sunday. He has not been playing. And then they play the Bengals, and you know, Andy Dalton and AJ Green is sneaky good in the regular season. They can put up, you know, 4 touchdowns like they did a couple weeks ago in the regular season. And then the Browns, who knows what the Browns going to look like now that Baker is in there full time. You know, that offense seemed to be more energized. But who knows? And then they go play the Ravens and then the Panthers. So they have this schedule that they have is pretty tough. You know, I don't really see any games like, oh yeah, that should definitely be a win because of the way they played so far. So yeah, they won. Yeah, they can possibly win against the Ravens at home, but they are by no means just in the driver's seat to be cruising to W's.
And speaking of Big Ben making big plays last night and basically putting the team on his back and willing to win, what did you think of that killer stiff arm? Was that the best of the best that you've ever seen?
Yeah, Vance McDonald. That was a pretty nice stiff arm and on a pretty good defender as well. Chris Conte is known for hits, and it just didn't seem like I don't understand why you would want to hit a 260-pound tight end. This guy's probably about 6'7". I don't know why you want to try to hit him up high anyways. I don't know why you just don't take out his legs, and he definitely paid for it. Now he's going to be on SportsCenter and the book of all memes as I went on Instagram last night. So, yeah, this is going to be used forever.
I saw a pretty good one that when the stiff arm happened, like a chair appeared and he sat down. Like it was pretty, that was probably the best one that I've seen so far. But
yeah, they started having their fun with it, man.
Hey, but like that's what the NFL needs to do is they need to have more fun and not worry about this hitting of the quarterback late. I mean, this is getting out of hand. Like honestly, like with the quarterback thing, that's just ridiculous. Like they had decided.
Yeah, we
almost
had 4 or
2
5
games
last night, right? We had like 4 or 5 roughing the passer penalties last night.
Yeah.
So I mean, the trend
sure,
continued.
there was for sure 3. I don't know about the 5 mark because I was tuning in and out because I actually had to do a little bit of work last night. But I want to get to Ryan Fitzpatrick real fast. I know we didn't really talk about this on the pregame show any. Do you think the Fitz magic is over? He just had his 2 games of outstanding crazy, and he's back down to normal Ryan Fitzpatrick, of which I called.
Well, to be completely fair to Ryan Fitzpatrick, before the show I did say he would have 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. He had 3 touchdowns, but he had 3 interceptions. To be completely fair to him, though, I don't think any one of the interceptions that he threw was his fault. The first interception, the tip interception, I don't think that's his fault that the linemen don't pick up the blitz and he tries to throw the ball and they get tipped up in the air.
Yeah.
You can't blame him for that one. The one that he threw to Mike Evans, it looked like Mike Evans should have kept running to the hole because the DB was already bailing out. He looked like he was in a deep third or something. And Fitzpatrick was throwing the ball where he thought Mike Evans was going to be going. But Mike Evans stopped on the route. It went right over his head. The last interception was the same way. They didn't pick up the blitz. As he throwing the ball, his arm gets hit, and Bud Dupree comes up with the interception. So if you ask me, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick played just as good as he did in any other game last night. And I think he deserves to stay the starter.
So do you think he will be the starter after this week?
Oh, I think so. Because I think the players also realize that he didn't just throw bad interceptions. I think if there were just bad interceptions, I think we'll be having a different discussion here, being that Jameis is available to play this week. His suspension stopped last night or this morning at 12. So I think if he had went out there and, didn't do good, I think we would be talking about Jameis today. But the fact that, they were down and he came back and, at the end, they still had a chance with him, I think that's going to be good enough to keep him in there until he actually messes it up.
And, only time will tell, and we can definitely talk about this during Week 5 if Fitzpatrick is the starter or if Winston does come back. But let's move on to the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders they're starting out 0-3. They're 4th in the AFC West. They've only scored 52 points on the season. That puts them 28th out of 32 teams. And Khalil Mack has just as many sacks and fumble recoveries as a whole Oakland Raider defense does. Is it time to panic for Las Vegas Raiders here? Is it panic mode time?
I think it's panic time, but I think a lot of people have been getting it wrong. You were right on the right track when you first started out, Mike, and that's where I'm gonna go with it. But I'm gonna say this first. Khalil Mack, a lot of people are saying that, the Raiders are struggling because they don't have Khalil Mack, and I just disagree with that because I've said on this show many times, Khalil Mack is a great individual player, but he wasn't even helping out the Raiders defense. The Raiders was in the bottom third, I believe, 20-something in defense last year, and that was with Khalil Mack. So, people say Khalil Mack, and I just don't understand that. I think the real issue that's going on with the Raiders is the guy that's playing quarterback. He can't get it together. That's the reason why they're losing, because they're not scoring enough points. And when they are scoring points, it's already too late. Teams already done put their foot on your neck and ran over you. And now you're trying to get your offense going. On the season, Derek Carr is 85 of 111. He's been completing a lot of passes, but he completes a lot of short stuff. Little quick slants, little bubble screens. Only for 936 yards, 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That's the reason why the Raiders need to panic, because the guy at quarterback is not who they thought that he was. 2 years ago, he was on fire. He got his team to the playoffs. He got hurt, and ever since that moment, he fell off. And he's been the problem. Regardless if you had Khalil Mack there or not, Khalil Mack is not scoring touchdowns consistently. I know he's been on his little tear since he's been playing with the Chicago Bears, but that will cool down. He's just hot right now.
He'll definitely crash back down to reality.
Yes, Derek Carr is the reason why the Oakland Raiders wasn't winning last year and why the Las Vegas Raiders won't win in the future.
So are you calling for a quarterback change in Las Vegas?
I'm definitely calling for a quarterback change. If you hire John Gruden and you pay him $100 million, you didn't just give him $100 million just to make it to the playoffs. You gave him $100 million to go to the Super Bowl. And while I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, I just don't think that if you're going to have a mediocre defense, I don't think he's the guy that you need at quarterback. I think you need somebody better than that. He can get you there if you got a decent defense, just like he played well a few years ago when the Raiders defense was on fire. I believe it was back in 2015, 2016, they were on fire. And that's when I believe they got that first round bye. And before he got hurt in that game in the playoffs, they were already winning. So he can be good on a good defensive team, but if you already have a bad defense, Derek Carr is not going to get it done.
So do you think they should trade Derek Carr or just kind of put in A.J. McCarron and let Carr sit the bench?
Oh no. I think you have to start Carr this year. I don't think that you can just turn to A.J. McCarron. And while I think A.J. McCarron is actually one of the best quarterbacks that came from Alabama, but a lot of people don't give him love because, that's when they had Mark Ingram and all of that. He kind of get overlooked. But I don't think you can turn the season over to A.J. McCarron right now. I think you have to ride out Derek Carr. I think you have to draft better next year. I haven't really seen a lot of quarterbacks outside of that guy from Oregon. I like him. Maybe he can run that spread type system that John Gruden might want to run. But I think Derek Carr, you have to stick to Derek Carr for the year.
So you are in panic mode. At what point does A.J. McCarron come into the season? Or do they go 0-7, 0-8, and they throw away the season? Hey, we're done. We'll go A.J. McCarron. Or do you think they're definitely want to ride out Carr the whole season? Did I lose you, Billy?
Yes, I think you ride out with Derek Carr. I'm sorry, I guess I had hit the mute button or something. But,
it's all good.
But yeah, I think you ride out Derek Carr for the whole year. You're not paying him all that money to sit him on the sideline and put him in for A.J. McCarron unless something catastrophic happens, or unless he just goes out there and really stinks up the joint. I mean, just look bad. Then you pull him for his confidence. Quarterbacks, they have those fragile personalities, so you have to protect that. But unless he goes out there and just stinks it up, he just played bad. I mean, yeah, I think they ride him out for the year.
All right, and speaking of playing bad, let's go ahead and hit the title of today's show: Tom Brady versus Father Time. Tom Brady is still being, Tom Brady. He has 6 touchdowns on the year to 2 interceptions for 644 yards. Not exploding numbers, but he's an average quarterback. But do you think Father Time is finally catching up to Tom Brady?
I wouldn't say Father Time is catching up to him. I would just say I think right now his lack of weapons is the reason why I believe he's looking kind of slower. He don't look to be up to Tom Brady. Right now, all he has is Rob Gronkowski. Teams are able to double him. They putting the safety over the top, rolling the linebacker up underneath. He can't shake free. But after week 4, he's going to get Julian Edelman back. By week 4, he should already have Josh Gordon into the fold. I think at that point, you're going to start seeing a totally different Tom Brady because now he's going to have a deep threat in Josh Gordon. He's going to have a guy who can run those 4- and 5-yard routes whenever they need a first down instead of having to hand the ball off, to Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead and these guys. And then now you're not going to be able to double Rob Gronkowski. You know, but if you double Gronkowski, now you're leaving Josh Gordon on single coverage, and I don't think that you really want to do that. If you try to double Josh Gordon, then you have Rob Gronkowski one-on-one with anybody. I don't think you want that besides Jalen Ramsey, and they're done playing Jalen Ramsey for the year. So if I'm any other defense coordinator, I'm not trying to double. I mean, I'm not trying to single coverage Gronk for a whole game. That's going to end bad for you. And then now you have Edelman running these intermediate routes, you know, getting 100 catches. Their offense is going to look totally different about week 5 when Brady has all of his weapons.
So do you think Tom Brady has to have Josh Gordon this season to be successful, or do you think he would have been okay without Josh Gordon?
No, I think he'll be okay without Josh Gordon, but right now you got to think also, like I just mentioned, Edelman is out. So
yeah, correct.
I don't ever remember the last time that Brady was just playing with just him and Gronk and no other receiver. You know, it's normally Gronk and he go make a receiver for 100 catches. You know, and I think at the start of the season, since he's missing Edelman, a lot of teams are taking advantage of that. And like I say, they kind of bracketing covering Gronk. And, you know, that's the offense right now. He doesn't have a running back. He doesn't have any other receivers. It's just him and Gronk. And if it's just him and Gronk, since Brady's not a running quarterback, he's just a sitting duck back there.
So make a bold prediction. Once Josh Gordon is, you know, fully into the mix, Edelman is back, do the Patriots lose a game till the playoffs?
I think they have a pretty good shot. Gordon should be back this week. I know they were saying that he probably could have played last week, but he's coming back this week at home, so they should be able to get him ready with a whole week. They play the 3-0 Dolphins, the undefeated Dolphins. I think that's a winnable game. The Dolphins always play the Patriots tough, but that's a win for the Patriots at home. I think if they get Josh Gordon and Gronk, now, like I just talked about, pick your poison. You're going to double Josh or you're going to double Gronk. Either way, somebody's going to eat. You know, then they go play the Colts at home. And I believe that should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Edelman should be back for the Colts game. They play them at home, Josh Gordon, Gronk, and Edelman. I think they win that game. Then they play the Chiefs. That's going to be pretty tough. I think they lose that game. Even though they play that at home, I think that's pretty tough, especially the way the Chiefs have been playing. But the Chiefs' defense has been horrible. You know, they've let over, 1,400 yards of offense already. They've looking really, really bad. I mean, I could see the Patriots losing maybe 1 or 2 games during this stretch, maybe 3. But depending on how the Eagles are by that time.
So this is basically Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick, not freaking out, getting the one piece that he thought he was missing, and they're going to go on a tear, and they're going to probably win another freaking Super Bowl, aren't they?
Hey, Mike, and to be totally honest, I don't even think Brady is the reason why they're struggling right now. I think the defense is really bad right now. Yeah. I mean, these guys, they can't stop anybody. So, and then it's a combination of the defense and Brady literally has no weapons on the offensive side right now. Because everybody cancels Gronk out. Yeah, so I think correct. It's the defense, and they feed into their offense, and it just looks bad as a whole. Brady is going to get the bulk of that because he's Brady. Yeah, but, I think the defense is playing bad.
The quarterback will always get the fault for a loss, no matter if the defense is giving up 65 points. Well, Tom Brady, you should have scored 66. So
yeah,
but Billy,
definitely agree.
I'm going to kind of throw, we have a little bit of extra time here, this morning. So I'm going to throw you a surprise question. We did not have time to prep for this, so this is all going to be straight off the top of your dome. There is buzz around this beautiful area, Lexington, Kentucky, that Stoops' stock is rising as a coach. Stoops is from the Florida area, or he has Florida State connections, and you being a Florida State fan.
I didn't hear the name.
Mark Stoops, the Kentucky head coach.
Okay.
So as you know, Kentucky won Saturday versus Mississippi State pretty handily. And Mark Stoops' stock as a coach is starting to rise and rise and rise and rise. And his name has always been kind of tied with Florida State, like a little bit. And with Florida State kind of being down, this year, and you've been very vocal about how much you dislike the offense, do you anticipate a possible Mark Stoops from Kentucky, stock rising, being a great coach, becoming a new head coach at Florida State next year?
I would actually like that, honestly. It's not that I don't really like Taggart. I just don't like his head coaching styles, and I just don't like, coaches that want to do everything. Like, you're a head coach. Go get your offensive coordinator. You hire the offensive coordinator. Yeah, and you don't even let him call plays. You got Walt Bell over from Maryland, and this guy don't even call plays because you're calling plays. But I like Mark Stoops. I like the way he had our defense when he was the defensive coordinator at Florida State. I mean, listen, we had two great defensive coordinators back to back that Jimbo basically ran off. And the fact that people thought that Jimbo was going to be there forever, that's the reason why a lot of these guys didn't stay. Mark Stoops left because he knew that he had dreams of being a head coach, and then at Florida State that there was no shot of that. And then the next year we got Kirby Smart. Not Kirby Smart, I'm sorry, Jeremy Pruitt from Alabama. And he left because he knew, listen, I want to be a head coach, and I could never be a head coach here because Jimbo was here. So, listen, I like Stoops. He comes from a good family tree. I wouldn't mind it.
Would you possibly say you were in favor for it?
I would, yeah.
Okay. Well, as a Kentucky fan, and Matthew Lau is probably rolling over in his chair right now because, this is the first time in a long time that Kentucky football and Duke football have been ranked at the same time, and it's not even basketball season yet. So things are getting pretty crazy here in the football world.
I bet.
But so if you guys are kind of curious of what Matthew Lau has to say about this, join us on the Big Blue Breakdown tomorrow at 7:30 on this fine YouTube channel. And Matthew Lau is probably going to go in, I think. Like I feel he is brewing something nice for us, but you never know. Just what attitude he will bring that particular day. But, Billy, as always, man, thank you for joining us, or thank you for being on the show. And
appreciate it.
And to everybody watching, the 30, 40-plus people, we definitely appreciate it. Be sure to click on the new YouTube channel link in the description below. We will be live there on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But go follow Unpopular Opinion. Billy, where can they find that at?
Find it on Facebook. You can find it on Twitter, both at Unpopular 2018, and it'll come right up. You can also find it on Apple iTunes, but we have to change the link. I post that link on the Facebook pages and the Twitter pages, so you guys can just click on it and go straight to it and subscribe. Also on Breaker, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, just anywhere that you find your podcast. There it is.
And give that thing a follow and a ranking so Billy can start moving up in those ranking lists, because this man puts on a great show. If you guys are not listening to it yet, you are missing out on some great insights from just a mastermind of sports, and just he speaks his mind. Billy, you honestly remind me of Stephen Smith, almost a lot, and you're getting better and better every show. But
my mom tells me that all the time. She say, I don't know how anybody could live with you because I couldn't do it. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to be any other way.
Hey, being yourself is the only way to be, man. But we will talk to you on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll holler at you then.
I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, thanks, bud. Go Chiefs.